Hi you guys, Devin K. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you again for joining me for another video. So for today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Real Housewives of Potomac season 6. Part 1 of the reunion. I already talked about this a little, you guys. I'm super excited. I'm not gonna drag out the intro, so let's get into the episode and see what is going on and what type of shade and shenanigans these ladies are up to. Okay, you guys, we have officially made it to the first commercial break of the Real Housewives reunion part 1. This is starting out super slow. They're just basically going around, everybody's talking, just saying what they've been up to. Andy's just complimenting everybody on their looks and their dresses and everything. And then they got a special video from a super fan, which was Nicki Minaj. And she did a little video saying like she couldn't make it to the reunion. Still super slow, nothing's really happening. They asked Mia about all of her surgeries because, you know, she basically got her whole body done, like her little lady parts she got done, her chest, her butt, her face. She gets Botox like every 4 weeks. She got like a tummy tuck. Like, this lady basically just lives in plastic surgery land. So they were asking her about her relationship with her mom. They're building a house. They're making a wing for her mom. So I guess her mom and her made up because in one of the episodes, the mom had a freak out and everything. And I was like, oh no, I hope her mom isn't gonna like relapse or anything. So I'm really happy to hear that her mom is still staying sober and that they're still working on mending their relationship and everything. And Mia said that like she's watching her kids now while she's at the reunion. So that is awesome. And then they asked Mia about her being a stripper because everybody is like, Mia's a liar. She lied about everything. That's what little Miss Messy Pants, barky, ugly Chihuahua dog Candace had to say. And so she's like, she lied about everything. She's just a liar. So what they're trying to say she lied about is they're saying that she lied about being a stripper, which she didn't. Like, she just worked in a very high scale club, which Giselle did vouch for her and was like, no, Mia did work at that club. And the girls don't get on a pole in the club. Like, they wear gowns and then they will take their gowns off and then, you know, they'll have something sexy on under there, which is perfectly fine. Like, I don't see why Candace is so mad and wants the girl to go get on a stripper pole so bad. I don't know, maybe Candace has secret fantasies about herself being a stripper. I don't know, but Candace just don't got enough meat back there for all that. So they're just, you know, going around asking people about Mia, and that's basically like all they discussed. And then they talked about Giselle, and she used to be dating, I guess, a news commentator or something. And so Andy was like, well, I'm sure Wendy knows her because, you know, Wendy is a commentator and Wendy knows people in the commentating world. And then of course Wendy had to go be messy and be like, no, the guy that I know, that's not her type because, you know, he likes women with dang, I can't forget the term that she used, but with character or something, or decorum, or likes women with something. And so she's still over there being shady Wendy, throwing shade and not being a woman about it, and not just, you know, confronting Giselle head on with whatever issue she has with her. So I'm curious to see, are things going to spice up a little bit now? Still moving super slow. So they are now asking Giselle about her relationship. And of course, hater Wendy has something to say about it. And she's like, well, I had the binder, because apparently she had some binder on last season that apparently Jamal was in a relationship with some other woman, and they're trying to get Giselle to admit that she didn't know about it and that she was the other woman. However, this lady is divorced from this man. If this lady wants to go and still have a relationship, no matter what type of relationship it is, with her children's father, that is between her and Jamal. Like, it is not the world's business. So they're all like, so weren't you hurt by the fact when you found out he had a girlfriend? And she was like, Giselle's like, I already knew about it. So yes, it hurt, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I don't know. So I just find it funny that like Wendy is just like sitting over there laughing while they're asking her about her relationship. And then Andy's like, well, why don't you really like open up and be vulnerable about it and everything? And Wendy just started laughing, and Giselle's like, I do open up, but just because I don't cry on television doesn't mean that I don't have feelings. And I just really don't understand why everybody is so worried about Giselle. Like, just so worried about it. And to me, like, when Giselle asks other people about their relationships, I personally feel like she really is coming from a good place, because she has been through so much crap with her ex Jamal. You know, he was a preacher of this church. He was supposed to be a man of God, an example, and he was out here making babies, cheating, doing whatever he wanted. And you know, Giselle still has had his back through it all, and she still has not dogged him out. And so to me, Giselle is just conducting herself as a woman, and any issues that she does have with that man, she clearly handles it and discusses it behind closed doors and not in front of the camera. And that is her choice and her prerogative. So I just don't understand why they are all so worried and concerned about Giselle. Like, they need to really get over it for real, because it's just stupid. It's goofy. Okay, you guys, so we are now back. Another commercial break. They're still sitting here discussing Giselle and Jamal and their relationship. And Andy, he made a really, really good point. One of the, I guess, fans, like, you know how they take questions from the fans to ask on the show. So they're like, Karen and Wendy, why do you all keep saying that Giselle's happiness has to be based on a man and that she's not happy because she doesn't have a man? So Karen was like, well, I think that Giselle's lonely, and instead of her wanting to work on herself, she just wanted to go back to something familiar, and so she chose to go back to Jamal. And so then Andy was like, well, why didn't you cry? And she was like, I basically, to get through, she's like, all these years, I had to kind of be a robot. She's like, I went into survival mode. You know, I'm a single mom now, and I have 3 girls to raise, and that's all on me. So she's like, so, you know, I had to do what I had to do. So I became military kind of. And so she's like, yes, I do have to work on myself. Yes, I do have to be more emotionally available, but that a man does not define me. And she is totally right. And I don't know, they are just so obsessed with her. Maybe like at the end of the reunion, like we'll figure out why and we'll get some answers, but I don't see why they're so worried about Giselle. Like, leave that lady alone. And you guys know the Green-Eyed Bandits are my favorite, so I'm always gonna like go hard for Giselle unless she is completely wrong. And Robin did chime in and have Giselle's back, as she should. But Wendy and Karen, they are just being like total haters on Giselle. And you know, Karen and Giselle are supposed to be in a good place, but apparently not, because Karen's trying to go in and come for her. And oh my gosh, it's just petty, you guys. It's like not even drama, it's not even exciting, it's just like tired and old. Like, leave this lady alone. All right, so we're back from commercial break, and now Escala is here. And somebody said that Escala is definitely the best dressed. She really did have good fashion throughout the season. And also her character as a woman, she always was in control of her emotions. She didn't get involved in pettiness. She always tried to not take a side, and when people were wrong, she always was one to hold them accountable. So I definitely really do like a Scala. Her gown is beautiful. But then they were like, Andy asked a question like, if you could style anybody in the show, who would you style? And of course, she says Giselle, and she was like, I would bring her current. And so then Andy's like, Giselle, do you have a comment? And Giselle's like, no comment. And he's like, wow, you're just taking a licking and you just keep on ticking in the fashion department. And Giselle's like, I don't care. Like, some things that Giselle wears are really cute, but a lot of things it's like, baby, no. But Ashley's gown is beautiful. Mia's gown is beautiful. Honestly, all the ladies' gowns on the show are beautiful. Like, they look really, really beautiful. But like throughout the season, a lot of them did not have good fashion. Like, I would say Ascala and Karen were probably the best dressed out of all the ladies for the entire season. So we are about to check in with Candace, little Miss Yappy Chihuahua Messy Pants Candy Pants. And let's see what she's about to do, you guys. We are now back and we are checking in with Miss Messy Candy Pants, Candace. And Andy's asking her, like, how do you feel about you know, your mom taking each one of your friends aside and talking basically crap about your husband? So Candace is like, you know, that wasn't okay at all. She was like, you know, I really had to sit my mom down and have a serious conversation with her. And so then Ashley was not at the music video shoot, because this happened at the music video shoot that Candace did for her hit single. I guess she finally signed with a record label. So kudos to Candace, good job. I was super curious. I was like, is she gonna get a record deal? Like, what's gonna happen? So congrats, Candace, because she does have a beautiful voice. Just some of her personality, she really needs to mature and grow up, and yeah. Andy asks Ashley, and he's like, so Ashley, what do you think about like the situation with Chris and everything? And she's like, well, I don't think that Chris is the same person. And she's like, you know, like, I just noticed on the show, like, he was drinking a lot more. He seemed like he put on weight. And of course, Candace comes flying to her husband's defense, which Ashley didn't even say anything bad. Like, in my eyes, Chris did put on weight and he was drinking a lot more. Pretty much in every scene, no matter whether he was at home or at a social event, he was having a drink. And even Candace in the scenes would be like, so you're drinking again? You're having a drink? What time is it? So even Candace was like making comments to her husband. But now that we're at the reunion and Andy's asking Ashley her opinion, oh, now she wants to be like, now. And so Candace is like, well, it's a pandemic. You know, nobody's the same. Everybody changes. Okay, baby, but your husband was doing a little too much drinking, so maybe is it trouble in paradise? Because how you were talking to that man throughout the season was mad disrespectful. I wish I would talk to a man like that. Trust me, if a real man, because Chris, like I said, excuse my language, but he's a bitch. He's a bitch. Can't even handle a black woman. And yes, black women, like, we do have mouths on us. We can be difficult, but we're very strong women. So it takes a real masculine man for us to really submit and stay in our femininity. And Chris, he's not that man to bring that side out of Candace, because they both be talking to each other mad crazy. But honestly, I don't know, Chris just needs to snatch Candace up and lay the law down and get her together. But you guys, we're still into this portion about Candace, so I'm about to watch a little more and see what else is going on. I think we're about to find out more about her situation with her mom, so this is really interesting. Okay, so Andy just asked Candace, he was like, okay, so what is Chris' reaction? You know, how does Chris feel about this? And so Candace literally just broke down and started crying, and she was like, you know, Chris is really, really hurt by that. The fact that my mom would talk to him like that and then, you know, smile in his face, but then repeatedly go to each one of my friends and cast members and talk crap about him and just, you know, put basically lies out there because the information was not true. Candace was saying, you know, my mom doesn't even know everything, the ins and outs. Like, yes, she's around a lot, but she doesn't know, you know, what Chris does, how much he works, all of that. So, you know, Candace is really upset, and I just have a lot of compassion for her because, you know, that's her mom talking about the love of her life. And even though, you know, Chris and Candace do have their issues, like, I can totally understand and identify with that because it's like, that's your mom and you have like an unconditional kind of love for your mom. But then at the same time, you don't expect your mom to sit there and go and talk crap about your husband, because it's like, if you love me and I'm your daughter, you should have that same love for my husband. And if you have a problem with my husband, then, you know, you should discuss it with my husband behind closed doors, or all three of us can sit down. But that's family business, and like, you do not do that on television. And so Candace is just really hurt, and she's like, her family will never ever be the same. She doesn't know how to fix it. And the thing is, Candace can't fix it. The only person who can fix that situation is her mom, by apologizing and by working to reestablish a positive relationship with Chris and working to reestablish trust with Chris. You know, like, maybe they need to go to some family counseling or something. I don't know, but that is such a sad situation, you guys. Like, that is so sad. Poor Candace. So this episode is about to end. Apparently there's another part. Nikki was not on it at all, so I guess she's gonna be on the next episode, next part of the reunion. It ends with Candace. They're addressing everything with Candace, and Andy is totally right. He's saying that he wakes up to tweets with people saying, please fire Candace, and it's based on the things that come out of Candace's mouth. And Candace is like, well, don't get mad at me because I'm better at orating and coming back than you guys. Okay, Candace, but you do go for the jugular. Like Giselle said, you take it to the lowest of the low. Even though you did not know, or you're claiming to not know of the situation with Mia's mother before you started saying your mama, you still don't speak on people's family members when you have an issue with someone. That's between you and Mia. So you should have been dragging Mia. You should have been talking about Mia. You shouldn't have drug her mother into it. And then she was like, she has an issue with her saying that Mia's mom would have relapsed because of Candace. And Wendy's like, yeah, that was kind of like unfair, which I do agree with that, because Mia did bring her mother onto the show. But things just go and escalate even more. Candace starts screaming, and then she does some very vulgar things because Mia's like, I can't even get a word in edgewise, so F her. She was like, my mom came on because she wanted to inspire people and share her story, which her mom had a hard life. She was in prison for 20 years. She got addicted to drugs by the love of her life. And you know, the love of your life is supposed to be your protector, your guider, your provider. And he basically, you know, just took her down a rabbit hole. So kudos to Mia's mom for recovering from that. But Candace is just wrong, and I agree with Andy. Candace is the common denominator because she attacked Ashley with that knife. And then she got her butt beat by Monique, which she deserved. I don't condone violence, but she had it coming. And like Giselle said, Candace, after you said those things about her mother and threw that salad and everything, she said, if Mia would have clocked you, I would have been like, hey, I can't even get mad at Mia because the things that you said were just so out of control, which I totally agree. So you guys, that is my end of the part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 6 part 1 reunion. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I will be back with part 2, and I think part 2 is when Nikki comes. So I'm super excited. So I hope everybody stays safe, happy, positive in these crazy times. And bye from Devin K, the model.